Hi, you're watching the Half Asian Tarot Queen, and I'm Elisa. There's a lot of racket happening, like they're putting it in a roof. So, I don't know. I mean, that's part of the reading, but I'm going to start with Mystical Shaman Oracle. Hopefully you can hear me through all the racket, but that probably means something. I also want to mention that the August monthly giveaway this month is the Sacred Destiny Oracle, which I'll feature at the end. You can check out the August monthly reading to enter. There's links in the bottom of that reading that explain how to enter. It's pretty easy. And yeah, we've been doing these giveaways for a few months now, and it's been cool, like building community and all that. So feel free to enter, and we'll get back to the reading. The August monthly reading was pretty climactic. I mean, last month's reading, for July, the whole theme of the month was crossing the bridge over troubled water and moving on from like a bad situation to, you know, kind of like a new era. And like actually the August monthly reading is something about like entering into a new world order, and I didn't realize at the time that I posted it that like that's actually a thing, like new world order. Like I kept saying it, you know, because I'm like everything's changing, but I didn't realize it was like a whole conspiracy theory thing. So yeah, for whatever that's worth. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. Wow. Okay. So at the bottom we got the Rainmaker. So this is a card of like co-creating with the universe, and sort of like you know, the rain is kind of like you know, watering all the plants and like nourishing everything, and like kind of like helping your manifestations to sort of like develop. And that's kind of how I'm taking it for this reading anyways. So we're co-creating with the universe, and then we have the Ancient Ones, the Tree of Life, and the Sweat Lodge. So this is real interesting. You know, this is a card of your ancestors and your ancestors being around and you having guidance from your ancestors. And then the Tree of Life is a card, and it kind of is an analog to like the chakra system. You know, I mean, we have our whole energetic system, and you know, I mean, it needs to be balanced, you know, because it's like our root chakra and our lower chakras, you know, like we need to be like firmly planted and grounded, you know, but at the same time we also have to have the leaves that are like reaching for the sky, you know, because it's like if we have an imbalance in one direction or the other, you know, you can be too grounded and too practical, and you like become cynical and like stop dreaming and stop looking, you know, to the future, you know. But if you're only doing that and you're not like grounded in reality, you can just like float away in the breeze, you know. So it's like you have to have both of those things. So there's that, and then we have the Sweat Lodge, which this has come up a couple of times recently, and this is a card of, you know, sort of like going into the womb of like the Mother Earth and sort of like purging and healing from like situations, people, things, and energies that just like are no longer serving you, and you know, like coming out the other end, you know, this light at the end of the tunnel. So it's like almost like we're going through this like profound healing of bringing like our chakras and our energy back into balance, you know, and we're getting guidance from our ancestors, you know, for this process, and we're gonna come out the other end like emerged, and like from a more enlightened perspective. And it's really interesting because, you know, there was this whole thing in the monthly reading about having this reality check at the beginning of the month where you're kind of like gonna like come head to head with reality and like where you might not be like matching up, and it was going to be harsh, but then at the same time, when that happened, it was going to actually open things up for like a realignment that was going to lead you to like a much better, you know, like on a much better path, you know, that actually was really beautiful, you know. But you're gonna have to like sort of purge these things that aren't serving you in order to like come into alignment with this manifestation, you know. So interesting. Yeah, like there's all this racket, you know, like it's not pretty, you know, but that's part of the process, you know. Like there has to be a shakedown of like what's not working. And then when I did the split, I got the 3 of Cups and the Sun, you know. So that's kind of like indicative of either like a reunion or, you know, kind of merging with your tribe or your community. But the Sun's like the most abundant, like fertile, beautiful card in the deck. So that's actually pretty auspicious, you know, like kind of like coming. There was a reading like months ago, and it was something about coming home, and that's kind of what just came to me, because this is just like, you know, coming into balance, having your ancestors around you, and you know, being aligned, you know, in alignment. And okay, oh my gosh, wow. Okay, so at the bottom we have the Page of Voices, you know, so that's like a message of truth or clarity that's coming in. And this can be like, I think this version of the deck is like, their definition is like kind of like a reality check, which is kind of what I was just saying, you know. But we have the 8 of Materials, which is kind of like the 8 of Pentacles in the traditional deck, the Hierophant, and then we have the Tower. So, you know, this talks about, you know, making a dedicated effort towards something, you know, because you're kind of juggling like eight flowers in the air, you know. So we're like working really hard at something, and the Hierophant speaks to like some sort of institution, you know. So that could be a marriage, or, you know, a church or a government or some kind of institution, you know. And it's like we're working, making a dedicated effort like in support of that, it looks like. But there's this Tower moment, you know, like a total shakedown of whatever kind of structures we're sort of like supporting right now. Like all of that's coming down. And that's really interesting, because I feel like that's just happening globally with everyone, you know. It's like we, you know, we've had all this big oh my gosh, I pulled out the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, and I got the Tower at the bottom of this deck too, which is crazy, because yeah, like I said, there was going to be a harsh reality check at the beginning of the month according to the monthly reading, and this reading really speaks to that, like and there's like all this racket, you know, like the whole time. So I'm gonna pull some more cards from Golden Art Nouveau, see if I can, you know, get some more clarity about what's going on. But you know, we all went through this whole thing with coronavirus, and like it's been really difficult and traumatic for everyone, you know. And like we're all just kind of trying to figure out how we like re-engage the world, you know, and like what's gonna work, because really like everybody in the world is like pretty shell-shocked right now, because it's just like nothing's working like it used to, you know. Everyone's lost their jobs. Like what are we supposed to do? Like it's crazy, you know. And like we don't know where we belong, you know. And like I think we've gone through a couple rounds of like trying to go back to how things were, and the more that we do that, like the harsher the reality check is, you know. So it's just like I feel like right now we're having this final showdown where it's just like, nope, not gonna work, you know. And that's where we're at, you know. So it's like double tower moments, like it's not pretty, you know. Oh my gosh. Okay, so at the bottom we have the Five of Pentacles. So this has come up a lot. Like I feel like this came up in the full moon and the monthly reading, I'm pretty sure, you know. But this is a card of lack, you know, and this was like a card of like not feeling worthy, or like not having enough, or just like feeling like you aren't enough, you know. And this is like an energy that like needs to be healed in order, to recalibrate like what's out of alignment, and needs to be like retuned so that you can go forward into like the better situation, you know. Okay, so we have the Five of Swords, which, you know, this is the harsh reality check. And then we have the Page of Cups, and we have the King of Wands. So it's like we're hitting our head against the wall, you know, and something is clearly not working. It's not gonna work, and, you know, like it's like there's some winners and losers. Some people are walking away like real burned from whatever the situation is, you know. But like immediately after that we get this Page of Cups, which is like this new message of love coming in. So it's just like, even though that's really harsh, it's like kind of opening the door for this new beginning, you know, which is good. And then we have the King of Cups. I mean, the King of Wands, which this is like, he's like a master manifester. Like this is someone who's in command of their emotions and can channel that and into like the three-dimensional world to manifest, you know, a new reality, you know. And that's right under this tower. So it's just like there is some sort of harsh reality check, but we also have this master manifester coming out the other side of it under this tower, you know. And then the next card we have after that is the Magician, which is also a card of manifestation. And we have the Nine of Pentacles, which is kind of like this swinging single independent person who kind of, you know, they're financially stable, they've got their stuff together, and they're just, you know, they've got this like bird perched in their hand, like, you know, it's like the truth is on their side. And we have the Nine of Swords, which is a card of like fear and anxiety. So it's just sort of like there's all these like sort of like conflicting energies, you know. Like we have this like harsh reality check, but then we're like manifesting out of that, you know. And then we have this like message of love, you know, coming to this super independent single person who's like, you know, maybe doesn't, they don't really, I mean, one of the hallmarks of this person is they don't really need anybody, but they're the one that's like getting some sort of message, you know, of love. And then we have this complete breakdown, and we have this master manifester, but we also have like all this fear and anxiety, you know. So it's just like, I feel like this is like a really important thing to like remember when you're in these total shakedown, breakdown moments. It's like you gotta put your energy into this, you know, because like we are what we, you know, we create what we put our energy into. So it's like if you get completely consumed by this, and this is the energy that you're feeding, like, you know, that's what you're building, you know. And so it's like you want to come out of this situation with this energy. So it's really important right now to try to harness your energy in the like most positive way, because, you know, like we're all kind of like starting from scratch in a certain way, you know. And like it's a tough moment. Okay, I'm gonna pull 3 cards, guidance for how we might move through this energy. And then, oh my gosh, okay, weird. Okay. Wow, I got like 3 double cards. This is super weird. So I got this, the Page of Voices, this Page of Swords, which is, you know, like this harsh reality check, which fell on top of this other harsh reality check, you know, but like that we're manifesting something out of, you know. Then I got the Page of Emotions, which fell on top of this other Page of Emotions. So it's like this swinging single person is flanked by these 2 Page of Emotions, you know, like they've got love coming at them from every angle. So it's just like things are harsh, you know, but there's like love, you know, coming online. And then we got the 5 of Materials, you know, so we got another one of these 5 of Materials, which is the lack and the unworthiness. It fell on top of this like tower moment. So it's almost like, you know, this is the energy that was needing to be healed in the like full moon and the monthly reading, you know, like in order to like move forward into the like better, you know, the better life. And so it's really interesting because it's like almost like there's this like breakdown of the structures that were built on this foundation, you know, but this person is kind of like rising above that destiny, you know. So real interesting, real harsh, but like also like a moment of opportunity as well, you know, if you can like kind of channel your energy in the right way, you know. Hopefully you have ancestors guiding you through this pivotal moment, because it's like if you can like heal this energy, you know, you can step forward into this new. I was like reading, you know, this someone that I'm sort of like connected to on Instagram, and like in the middle of the COVID crisis, they like met their like soulmate and they like got engaged and like all this beautiful stuff, you know. And so it's just sort of like, that's really inspiring in this moment because everyone's having all this difficulty, you know, and meanwhile they're like having this totally like beautiful like fantasy, you know, and like all their dreams are coming true. And I'm like, yeah, you know, like that. I've been really trying to be intentional about like getting involved with like energy like that, because it's like uplifting, you know, and like you need that at times like this because things are so so difficult, you know. Okay, I'm gonna pull 2 cards from Sacred Destiny and see. Oh my gosh, interesting. Wow. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna pull 3. So I got abundance, purity, and thriving. So, I mean, it's interesting because that kind of goes along with that story that I was just telling, you know. It's just like kind of trying to align yourself with like pure positive intentions, because like good things will grow out of that, you know. And so it's really important, you know, to align yourself with that energy versus this energy, you know, in this total breakdown moment, because, you know, you want to rise above this, because it's just like, what else can you do, you know? I mean, times are tough all over. It's like it's a real rough place, you know, a real rough moment, but it's also like this huge moment of opportunity, you know, if you can harness that correctly, or at least that's kind of where I'm trying to stay focused, you know. So anyways, if you're interested in this deck, be sure to check out the August monthly reading, you know, in the bottom of, you know, the description, you know, there's the how you can enter. And also, I'll be back soon with more readings. I'm going to start putting links in the description also for this new product that I'm like selling. I was talking about in yesterday's reading that I'm starting to do like kind of like a sales sort of situation. But it's really, I think, helped me a lot to kind of stay positive, but also There's a lot of physical impacts that are really positive.
It's okay.
Yeah, my mom. Okay, so that was my mom. But just, you know, I'm going out with a little plug because I've mentioned this before, but, you know, this tarot channel I started doing for fun. And my intention is to build like a larger platform around wellness, you know, more long-term, where this will be part of that platform, but, you know, there's going to be other elements to it. And so, yeah, I'm selling a wellness product. It's exogenous ketones. They basically catalyze a metabolic shift in the body from like carb burning to fat burning metabolism. And so there's a lot of health benefits from that. I have autoimmune disease. It's really helped me with like my symptoms. I mean, kind of miraculously so, and also with energy. But it also helps, you know, burn fat and helps you have good mental focus and energy, and you know, it's just good stuff all around. I'm going to put some information about that in the description of the videos too, and I'll probably keep plugging that because, you know, gotta pay the bills.